In this video, I'm going to show you how I'm planning my guitar learning over this year, over 2023. And by showing you that, I believe it's going to enable you to create your own plans so that you can structure how you're going to learn and take the energy and the enthusiasm that we have in the beginning of the year and to turn it into consistency, to turn it into guitar playing progress, momentum, and enjoyment. So why actually plan our guitar learning? Well, there's a phrase that comes from football. It's something like 100% of the goals that we don't take don't go in. So if we're not making those shots on goal, we're not ever going to get them in. So we need to set our goals, because through actually setting goals, we're much more likely to achieve them. So really, if we think about it this way, if we fail to plan our guitar learning, we're actually planning to fail our guitar learning. And another way of looking at this is that, if we don't create our own plan for where we want to go and where we want to get to, we're going to become part of somebody else's plan. We're going to get sidetracked with what we're doing. So it's very, very important. It's a lot like putting blinders on. Horses have blinders on so that they can see straight ahead to their goal, the finish line, to the race, and where they want to get to. It stops them being distracted by all the other things that can come up. It allows them to shut out all of those things that don't help them get to where they want to go, so they can just focus and carry out the actual doing. So this is what my guitar plan looks like for the next year. This is what I call the big picture view. And I put everything that I need into 4 individual sections. So I can see it all on one page, in one place. If it's not on here, it's not important. So this is what I'm sticking to. This is how it is. It's a simple way to lay it out and structure it. So what we've got here is we've got the actual goal that I'm trying to achieve in this year, or the actual goal you're trying to achieve, how we're mapping that goal over the time that we have available. So the next year, I've got the material that I want to learn. So specific songs, maybe specific scales, things like that, techniques. I've got the practice plan itself to be carried out on a daily basis, or what it looks like in a day type kind of compartment or a practice session, and then actual guiding principles for learning in order to keep those blinders on and be moving forward and have momentum. So first section is the actual goal. The best place to start with what we want to achieve is where we are right now. So our current guitar playing. I've written on here, just as a summary, that I can currently play 25 songs. I put specific levels in reference to my program, The Process. If you're not sure what level you are or anything, absolutely fine. And I've put that I don't have experience playing with others or playing lead. So this is actually just an example. We want to know where we are right now before we move forward. So I'd say in terms of the amount of songs, in terms of where you are, in terms of your skill set. And then from there, from our current guitar playing, we project out the big goal for 2023. Now, my goal that I've put for my personal playing, there's 2 halves of this. One of them is song learning, and the other one is lead guitar playing. So on one half of the coin, we've got, I want to be able to play 50 songs over the year. On the other half of the coin is I want to be able to play lead guitar and improvise melodies and solos over each one of those songs. And then in order to help you to create your goal and define your goal, I recommend that you make it a SMART goal. It's an acronym. It stands for, the first one, the S, is specific, so you know exactly when the goal is achieved. I'm really specific with this. It's 50 songs, okay? If I'm not playing the song all the way through, I haven't achieved that song. And in terms of improvising over each one of those songs, I want to be able to improvise over the whole thing, each section of the song. Measurable, we want to know when we've actually attained it. So that's why we have the number involved. It's nice to be able to have a figure, so then we can say yes or no. Attainable, is it too hard? And then relevant, is it actually relevant to you? We're specifically looking for a goal that's exciting to you, that's about your music and about what you want to do. And time bound. It's not an endless goal that you're just going to drift toward and never possibly ever achieve. It's bound by the year. So that's the goal within 1 year. So that's how our goal setting works initially, current guitar playing, where we want to get to. And then to come down from here, the second step is to map the goal over time. So I would first take your goal from a year and break it into the quarters. Break it into 4, it becomes 13 songs and lead guitar over each of those. And then from the quarterly, we break down our monthly goal. So that would be 4 songs. We break that down weekly. So I'm looking at a cadence really of 1 new song each week. And then as we go from weekly into daily, which is where we're going to live when we're practicing, it's going to be one section of a song each day. So if I start on the Monday, maybe I'm doing the intro. On the Tuesday, maybe it's the verse. Wednesday, the chorus. Thursday, if there's an additional section like a bridge or middle eight. And then the next 3 days could be just putting those sections together, refining them, practicing them as a whole, and also running alongside that is the lead guitar. So on Monday I would be practicing maybe the particular scale or the key that we're in, and trying to improvise some phrases along with the intro, and then, you know, section by section. There's obviously quite a lot of structure that goes into learning to improvise, learning lead, learning techniques and things like that, which we'll come to how they're included in the plan. But just to map the goal over time, to give you an idea of, really to break it down, that the reason we do this is we want to know what we're doing on a daily basis, roughly what we're doing on a monthly basis, so that we stick to it. People tend to dramatically overestimate what they can achieve in one day, but then they tend to underestimate what actually can be achieved in the course of a year, which is a huge amount of time, as long as there is consistency and breaking it down. So this structure really helps with that. The next part of this, from goal, is we actually have the material to learn. Now, my students choose the songs that they would like to learn. They sort of request them. So that's what generates the 50 songs that I'm going to learn. Now, I haven't put a list of 50 songs on here because I think it's important to give space for enthusiasm, for things that crop up as you go. Like 1 month, 2 months down the line, there might be a song that somebody requests or that you hear and you're like, oh, I'd really love to, or you remember that it's a song you love. And then that's going to go on the list. So you want a bit of freedom. Don't lock it down the entire thing. And I've actually put, you know, in accordance with the mapping it over time, that this is 12 songs for the first quarter, January to March. So you'll be mapping out the material that you want to achieve. This is the first half of my approach to practicing. It's the learning of songs. We then take those songs and we chunk the material. We want to break them down. And this is one of the things that it's very, very useful to have a guitar teacher who can guide you, who knows the right way to structure and break down learning material. But in terms of songs, broken them down into the chords that are used for the song, the various types, the chord changes themselves, specific strumming patterns that are, all of this information comes from the song, different techniques that may be involved, like palm muting, finger picking. So the first bucket that we break down in is technique or skill. Very essential that we learn those in order to put them together into the song, rather than just try to learn the song and it can just fall apart in that way. Because we don't have the underlying abilities and skill. And then the other thing is knowledge. So names of the chords in the song, how the chords are constructed, and might need to know for some songs. Name of notes on the strings. You know, if we're playing particular chords like a bar chord or a power chord, we're going to need to know what note is on, say, the 4th fret of the E string, in order to know what that chord is called and to play it. So we break the song material into the chunks of the skills to play it and the knowledge required. And then the other side of my goal is the lead guitar and the improvising. So I've mapped this out into, again, technical skill and knowledge. Under skills, I've got, you know, being able to phrase in a musical way in different ways, concept of resolution, timing with the improvising, the contour of melodies, techniques like hammer-ons, pull-offs, trills, slides, bends, vibrato, double stops. I've got a little list of more specific ones of these as well, like different types of slides that I've just put here to trigger my memory and things of what I'm looking to do. The knowledge that I need to be able to improvise leads. So I need to know the names of the notes on the neck to know what key I'm in for the song. I need to know specific scales depending on what type of song it is. If it's a blues song, for example, if it's a song in a major key, something like that. And then how to access the scales in major, minor, how to play in different keys. So there's a certain amount of knowledge, a certain amount of skills for each segment of goal. And I've listed out just some of the keys, more common keys for myself, and where they're rooted. So we take the goal. If it's a song goal, you're going to break the song into individual pieces, the skills that are used and the knowledge to build it. If it's a lead playing goal that you have, or an improvisation goal, a melody goal, then you're breaking the lead guitar into individual techniques as well, and then the knowledge required, the sort of repertoire that you need in order to do that. So that's the material to learn. So we have the goal, we break the goal over time. We have the material to learn, we break that down into individual bite-sized pieces. Now, the next stage is to actually map it out into a practice plan. So I've taken the buckets of technique, knowledge, and then the two different sides of playing, so songs learned and improvisation. If you're just learning songs, you're going to have just the first 4 of these. You're going to have warm-up, technique, skill, knowledge, and song. If you're not learning songs, you're just learning improvisation, then you would have this one, this one, and not this one, but this one. The next step after we've got our buckets is to allot the actual time that we realistically are going to be picking up the guitar for. If you're a complete beginner, we're looking at a minimum of 20 minutes. I've mapped my practice plan personally into 45 minutes. The lion's share of that is spent on the actual material, the songs or the leads, so I've cut mine in half, 15 minutes on each, and then on the various other sections, 5 minutes for a warm-up, 5 minutes for technique, 5 minutes for knowledge. So we're plotting the breakdown of the techniques and knowledge that we had in the materials section into here. So we're looking at it, this is a snapshot of one day of practice things. So start with a warm-up, looking at a particular chord change in the song that I'm learning, or if it's lead, a particular scale, and I'm drawing all of those from the material to learn. So if I'm learning a song that's in the key of D major, I'm going to be looking at a chord change from that song, probably D to something, maybe D to B minor as a bar. That might be a common change in that key. And then scale-wise, I might be learning the D major scale. So I'd spend 5 minutes on those, and then in the techniques section, I would be learning, say, if there's a new chord used in the song, like the one I mentioned actually, the B minor, and it's a bar chord, and then maybe it's a new strumming pattern. So we're learning the techniques used in the song on their own in isolation. In terms of lead, I'm learning a technique like a hammer-on, or learning to bend a note as well, just spending 5 minutes on those collectively. And then the knowledge, brushing up a little bit on what I need to know to play the song or do the improvisations. So do I know where on the neck to play a B minor chord? Do I know where the note B is in order to do that? Do I know the shape of a minor chord? Do I know the notes on a particular string? Making a scale, major or minor, I might need to know that as well. So specific knowledge in order to get you where you want to go. And then the lion's share of the practice is spent actually learning the song. So going back to the goal over time, on one day I'm going to be learning one section of one song. So on this day I'm learning the verse, and then in my improvisation I'm learning to improvise over that one section of verse. And here I've decided to practice phrases that are 5 notes, and then for phrases that are 3 notes that include the technique I learned in the technique section, a hammer. So it's all tied together, it's all drawn exactly from the song or your improvisation. We map out a practice plan into the buckets over the period of time that we've got available to practice, and we put our chunked material into it, and then from there the final thing is we actually have some guiding principles that are going to keep us, keep the blinkers on, keep us moving forward with momentum to undertake the plan. So principle 1 that I've got is to never break the chain. We've got a calendar here, and all this is it means that each day I'm pledging to pick up the guitar every single day, and when I do that I'm going to put a big X on my calendar, and to know that I've marked off that day, and I'm going to try my hardest to not break the chain of practice on a daily basis. If there's any days that I can't do my full 45 minutes, I'm going to pick up the guitar anyway, because I want to build the habit and build the momentum. I'm going to pick it up just for 30 seconds, just to run through something that I'm learning. So maybe I'm just going to grab the one new chord just to fire those connections in my brain and keep it moving forward. That's a successful day, that gets across, and the chain is not broken. I'm going to try and keep that momentum up, not just for the first month. I'm going to try and do it throughout the year. Guiding principle 1, never break the chain. Principle 2 is to Hemingway it. I named this after the writer, but the concept is when we're playing and practicing, when we're learning a new song, for example, or the same applies to improvising, we want to balance the enjoyment we have of playing the guitar with trying to do new things that are challenging. So first step is we actually play something that we can do and that we can enjoy. What we do is we sandwich in the middle the new thing that's challenging. It's harder to do than something we already know how to do. So we stick it in the middle, spend a little bit of time on that. That's our 15 minutes. And then we end up with playing and enjoying what we're doing as well. So this might have been the section I learned yesterday. I'm playing through it again. This might be the new section today. And here might be putting them together. Okay, so we're playing again. And the reason I call it Hemingwaying it, he was a writer, and he did this thing where he would leave off writing every day, not when he'd exhausted all of his ideas or got stuck. He left off his writing every day when he had a new idea, halfway through when he was in full flow, because it meant he could leave it, he'd feel really good about the time he spent, he'd have that excitement and to continue the next day. So we'd have the excitement to pick up the guitar and carry on the next day. We wouldn't leave it and put it down at a point of frustration, which is going to make us less likely to pick the guitar up again. So we sandwich it, it's play, we practice, and then we play. So it's good at the beginning, it's good at the end, then we're challenging ourselves to move forward in the middle. That's principle 2, to Hemingway it. Principle 3 is just to play it 3 times. I often get asked, when we're practicing, how do we know that it's good enough, what we're doing, to move on? So this is a little bit personal opinion. Do you feel it's good enough? But it also is very useful in this instance to have guidance from an experienced teacher who can let you know if it's good enough to move on. But as a general principle, if you can play that little bit, so if I'm trying to improvise over the chorus of a song, if I can do that without going off the rails, getting lost and not knowing what to do, or hitting wildly wrong notes 3 times in a row, that's pretty good. That's good enough to move on. Same with the section of a song. If I've learnt the section of a song, I can play it 3 times pretty well. That's good enough. The same with everything. The same with a particular chord. If I can get that chord clean 3 times in a row, that's pretty good for now. Time to move on. So that's the big picture of how I'm planning 2023. And if you're doing this for yourself, I recommend using exactly the same approach. So you've got everything defined. So you would define your goals that you want to achieve. You'd map that goal over time. You'd define some of the material that you want to learn. You chunk it into its individual building blocks, and then you'd map out a practice plan on an individual basis, and you'd assign yourself some guiding principles that are going to keep you moving forward and progressing with your guitar playing over the year. Now, once you've done that, start tweaking it and keep tweaking until you can get all of the parts balanced and aligned with each other, so that it clicks into place, it makes sense to you in a simplistic way, exactly what you need to do. And then it's simply a case of putting your blinders on, using this plan exactly like that horse that I showed you, so you can see the goal, you can see the exact steps, one foot in front of the other, that you need in order to get there. It's going to give you a huge amount of enthusiasm, of clarity, and of momentum to carry you through sticking to it and building the habit on a daily basis to achieve the goals that you want to. And from there, you can just focus on carrying it out on a day-to-day basis, one step in front of the other, one small chunk at a time, in order to make progress and learn the songs that you want to, improvise the way you want to, and carry out your guitar playing plan and goals for the year. Now, I've been working personally with a small group of guitar learners very directly over the past 6 months or so on a project I've been planning now for the past couple of years and wanted to do for a very, very long time. And the day has finally come today where I'm going to unveil this and show you what it's like and how it works. Now, it's called We Guitar, and I honestly believe if you want to reach your guitar playing goals this year in 2023, this is the single best and most effective way to do that. So let me introduce this to you now for the first time and show you what it's all about. We Guitar is a 1-year mastermind program that focuses exclusively on helping beginner to intermediate guitar players to progress with their guitar playing. It uses live, in-person, face-to-face workshops, hands-on direct help and collaboration. Okay, so it's a place where everybody is aligned toward the same goals: progress with your guitar playing, confidence with it, and enjoyment. The emphasis is really on help, it's on collaboration, and it's on playing together. It's run by myself, Ian O'Brien, and the main thing is it feels like coming together with friends, but it includes real guitar playing progress. So who is this for? Well, We Guitar is for you if you're a beginner to intermediate guitar learner, if you can play 5 songs as a minimum. Okay, this is beginners, but it's not total beginners. It's for people who can play some songs, they want to take their guitar playing to the next level. If this is you, then you are probably wanting help with having some hands-on personal guidance with your guitar playing, help with your timing, your rhythm and the feel of your playing. You're looking for accelerated progress and taking your guitar playing forward to the next level, developing the ability and confidence to play with or in front of friends and family. You want to begin improvising and playing some single notes, some melodies, some lead guitar with your playing, or adding riffs and detail to the chord strumming and playing that you're doing, or you want to improve your technique, fingerstyle playing, things like power chords or bar chords, moving around the neck more of your playing, picking the strings individually more accurately, doing techniques like hammer-ons, pull-offs, note pens and things like that. So what's actually included in the program? First up, the core of it is 3 times a year we get together in person for 3-day live workshops. Okay, so we're all in the room together. The first workshop is coming up in February for this year, 17th, 18th, 19th. It's going to be in Yorkshire in the UK. It's the middle of the country, so it's sort of equal distance for most people to get to. The next workshop is June 16, 17, 18. Same, it's going to be Yorkshire, and then October 13th, 14th, and 15th. So we get together for these in-person workshops 3 times a year. They take place in the UK, but if people are coming from other places, if you're coming from the States or anywhere else, you're very much welcome to join. It's all day exploring, learning, playing guitar. Each workshop is professionally recorded. We already have in the members area the full recordings. This is the introduction video and resources, the full recordings for the workshops we did in October, so you'll immediately get access to all of these. Basically each day we do 4 workshops that are about 1.5 hours each, focused on the specific things that the people in the program really want to focus on and get out of their playing. So it's very agile, it's flexible, and it's planned concretely around your specific goals and needs, but they are the goals that we went through a little while ago. There's a strong alignment with all of the members, so you get access to the recordings of all past events, and then the recordings of the events as they come out. You can see where this happened in terms of learning, different students involved. Over the course of 3 guitar sort of workshop intensive weekends, you're going to make the kind of progress that you would make in a year of solid weekly lessons, but because we do them in a short period of time, it's a sort of a quantum leap in terms of progress. I'll just show you from the recording footage what one of the workshops is like. So this is a session we did where people chose the kind of songs they want to play together, and we worked on timing, we worked on pulling it all together and had an experience playing a song together. There we go, fantastic. So we professionally record, capture all of the audio and visuals of the full event, so you can watch back and learn from it in your own time after the events have taken place, including all the resources and everything like that. And you'll of course get access to the event that's already happened. Also included in this is we do a weekly live collab call, a collaboration call, and you again get access to the recordings of these as well. We already have in the archive the collaboration calls so far. We started on the 5th of October. We've been running weekly ever since. Now the way the collab calls work is it's really a collaborative experience. So everybody can just unmute, can jump in, have a free exchange of conversation, talk about where you are with your playing, ask any questions, get guidance, advice, feedback from the group and where they are. It's really a shared experience of learning. I'm on hand always to give any guidance, to give any teaching that's required as we go and as we are. But because it's a very small and very limited program, the amount of spaces available, it's really a conversation with people that you know, but it's really friendly, really encouraging. It's really great with the collaboration. And also, like I said, I'm on hand. I do jump in and do teaching at various points in time. So we did a collab call last week on the 4th of January where I taught the way I'm planning my year and gave everyone the files required for them to plan it out themselves and give guidance and work with me together to achieve that. But it's a weekly call. It's social, it's fun, there's learning, and you're going to be having a chat and catch up in terms of your guitar progress with the people that are in the program, the people that you've met in person and done the workshops with over time. Okay, so collab calls, you get access to all the ones that have happened so far, so you won't miss anything at all. And then the final thing is we've got private members only community. So I host this on Facebook, the We Guitar Mastermind group, but this is a private and closed group, so it's very different. Like the collab calls, because the membership is so limited, it's a really direct communication. We've just got the members of the program in here, plus the team that is working on this program. There's 11 members, but we've got 7 members of We Guitar at the moment, only 7, and that's what I was limiting it to for the pilot. We've got, for example, a post of the files and things for the plan that that I'm showing everybody now. and then members have jumped in to talk about how they're planning. Ray's in here. The songs he's going to map out for the year and what his goal is, and you'll see some of the other members are actually deciding that they want to get together because they've got similar choices and choose some of these songs for us to play, and have my help with when we're together in person in the workshops. Steve's posted a video of a Christmas song that he did over Christmas, and he's just saying, feeling lucky, very lucky to be part of this lovely group, achieving our guitar ambitions under the guidance of the ever-patient Ian O'Brien. And you'll hear a little bit more from Steve in a little bit. I've said everything in terms of what it includes. Also includes, of course, the resources, sheets and things that we're developing, the various tools that I have on hand to learn the specific things, whether it's powers, bars, scales, finger-picking patterns and things like that. In terms of running it, of course, it's myself teaching this hands-on in person. I'm really returning here to something I've done in the past and something that I love. My background before teaching online, obviously I was teaching about 21 years in person, group lessons and stuff like that, but I taught a music college in Norwich. I did teaching performance, doing group lessons, teaching band skills and stuff. So I've done a lot of these things in the past, and I'm cherry picking the specific things that I feel are going to have the biggest impact on people's playing, and putting it together and designing it around the goals of the people who join play. So I'm running it myself. Another chap, Ben Glister, is a guitar teacher, a phenomenal one. I've known him for a very long time, and he's the guy I go to discuss teaching and learning, how to make the best progress, different approaches and that kind of thing. He's really, I trust him sort of implicitly with everything. So we team teach this together, we do the workshops together, we're both in the room, you can ask any of us questions and guide you through. And finally, Drew Simmons, or Andrew, he is an expert at audio, visuals and sound design. So he's the guy who not just sets up the set and the site for recording and capturing not just what we're saying in the room, but each person's guitar, so we can clearly hear what's happening, and film the whole thing. So we've got really, really good high quality recordings to watch back and continue to learn from. And then in terms of what members are saying, you know, I thought it would just be good to jump into one of the collab calls and show you, because I asked a few weeks after, just over a month, how people felt, if there's any particular things that they loved and resonated with them that we did in the workshops and what their experience was like. And so I just wanted to share that with you now.
Yes, improvising when everybody was playing. Lawrence was finger picking. There was some chords being played by others and power chords. And I did some improvisation of the pentatonic scale. And that sort of registered with me and clicked. It was a moment, very good.
Excellent.
There was a couple of things for me, Ian. I can't remember what we were doing exactly, but as you know, at our end of the room, we've got myself, John, Simon and Andrea. And at one point, we're all playing the same thing in time, perfectly in time with each other. And the effect of it was spectacular. It was just, I think I said to John at the time, it was like a wall of sound, and you almost couldn't discern the part you were playing in it. It almost took on a life of its own. So I thought that was really special. And I also particularly enjoyed the REM number we did on the last day, where we all had a different part to play, and that was amazing. Never done anything like that before, and really, really sticks out in my mind. Those two things. You know, I'd never really played an instrument with other people at all, apart from a triangle maybe when I was about 5. So yeah, that was really special. And it, you know, one of the great takeaways from being in this group really, and being able to get together with people and do it in person, really, really special.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Definitely, most definitely. And I think the other thing, Andrea mentioned it earlier, your head's full of so many things. You introduced so many things that I wasn't even aware was there to even learn. And you just filled with all this, I want to do that, and I want to do that, and I want to do that. Because over the 3 days, even if you're just getting little snippets, you know, certainly the improv, and listening to you just playing it in the background, and then trying to do something over it, it just takes it to a next level. Just because when you're sort of doing individual notes just in a room on your own, it's really pretty flat, and therefore obviously you going on about the playing, and then we've been talking about the loopers, that in itself just takes it to another level that I would never have even thought about had I not been part of this group and the retreat and everything like that. So I think over a period of time, I'm just expecting more of these things to come along, and just the mind to be blown even more, even though at the time it was like, God, I never even thought about this. How do you do this? What, but it's inspired me to just carry on, take it to that next level. I think it's fantastic. It really is.
I think I agree with you, John. I think the thing that struck me is you come away from that inspired to actually go back and practice certain things. Whereas during the year, you say, right, I must do that, and something else crops up and you never get round to it. And you'll do it occasionally, but I think the actual 3 days gives you that impetus, and you're working with the other guys and you're all wanting to improve. And I think that's driven me to practice harder and actually think about what I'm doing when I'm practicing, instead of just getting the guitar out and doing the same thing all the time. But you actually try and think about what you're doing, getting the timing right, getting the rhythm right, trying to play the chords better, etc., etc. So that was the thing that came out of it for me, was just you came away sort of energized to do better, I think.
Yeah, I learned more in three days than I had done in the previous 3 years. But on the Saturday morning, there was a light bulb moment for me. I can't remember what it was. There was a chord sequence with strumming. I was struggling to get into it. And then after a minute of that, I thought, bugger this, I'm going to have a go. And actually went into the strumming. And I had the chords, I had the strumming, and I was actually playing in the same time as everybody else, which for me was like a eureka moment.
For me, it's just everything what everybody said. The fact as well that we've had like 3 full days of playing guitar, playing together, because I just haven't got the time to play for like half a day. So the fact that I've spent like 3 full days learning all these new things, I just loved it, basically. And it just makes you want to learn more.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's what our members are saying. Here's some images of the previous location that we used. We're going to be using a slightly different location that is similar for the next workshop. Again, it's in Yorkshire. It's a really beautiful space. We had sort of dining, people hanging out here in the evenings as well. There was, just a really lovely, comfortable, relaxed space. And then next up is the question, how many people can join WeGuitar? So in total in the membership, we have, because it's a very personal, very direct program. It's different to my usual program that's for the complete beginners and focused on song playing, which is the process. This program, which is much more personal and direct, working together as a mastermind, this has a hard limit of only 15 people in at a time. So currently we have 7 pilot members that did the first workshops at the end of last year in October and have been working through the program. To make up to 15 members for this intake period, we have a hard limit of 8 spaces, 8 new members. Okay, so these are gonna fill up very, very quickly. I'm only looking for 8 people to work together over the year in WeGuitar and to join with the other members and create the limit of 15 people. So it's hard capped on that. It also includes lunch. So I put on lunch. We spend a couple of hours eating and taking a break from guitar stuff. A lot of the magic of the program does happen in these kind of social interactions. I really love spending time with the people I'm teaching and my students, getting to know you better and getting to know each other, talking guitar stuff, answering questions, having discussions about it. It's a big part of it, obviously during the lunch break, but also in the evening sessions as well, because we're all in the same space, because it also includes simple accommodation to stay. You're welcome to stay for the 3 days of the program. And it also, I've thrown in 1 complete year membership to the process, which is my main teaching that I've been doing for the past 6 years or so. Well, 21 years, but 6 years taking the process online. And so these 2 programs are layered together. So you'll get, if you're a member of the process already, you'll get a full year member of the process and WeGuitar on top. So that's included. And then how to join. So we're looking for those 8 people. One of them might be you. Before obviously you join, we need to have a conversation to see where you are with your playing, where you want to go with your playing. If you're a student of mine already, I'll have a reasonable idea of that, what you want to get out of the program, that I can definitely help you and discuss, becoming a member, answering any questions if you've got that kind of thing. So we've got 8 spaces available. Obviously they're going to fill up pretty darn quick. So the time is now to let me know that you're interested in one of these. There'll be a button beneath this video that I'll put there, if not the link beneath this video. So click that, have a look at my calendar, the spaces I have available. There could be limited spaces by now when you're watching this. So book yourself into a space. We'll have a chat about your playing, about we guitar and whether we're a good fit to work together in this context, and we'll take it from there. But I'm really looking forward to this, really excited about rolling on with the next live events, doing the weekly calls, the collaboration calls, and doing the next event in mid-February, and I'm hoping you'll be able to join us. So book a call and I'll speak to you then.